New York Racing Parimutuel Wagering and Breeding Law, Section 102, provides that the New York State Gaming Commission shall consist of 7 members appointed by the governor, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate. 4 members confirmed by the New York State Senate are necessary to afford the commission an ability to establish a quorum and undertake action. This present meeting of the commission is now called to order. This meeting is being conducted by video conferencing in 2 locations, New York and Schenectady. Both locations have been appropriately noticed and accommodate public attendance. Ms. Secretary, will you please call the roll?
John Crotty.
Here.
Sylvia Hamer. Martin Mack.
Here.
Peter Machete.
Here.
Brian O'Dwyer.
Here.
Marissa Shorenstein.
Here.
Jerry Skirnick.
Here. Ms. Secretary, please have the record reflect that a quorum of qualified members is present, thus enabling the transaction of business. Please note that Commissioner Machete is in Schenectady and that bilateral visual and oral communications have been established between Schenectady and New York. Please also reflect that Ms. Hammer sends her regrets as she had an emergency situation to attend to today. Sir?
Minutes of the commission meeting conducted on September 23, 24 have been provided to the members in advance. At this time, I'd like to ask the members if there are any edits, corrections, or amendments. Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please let the record reflect that the minutes were accepted. The next item of business is a report of our executive director, Mr. Williams.
Today, I'd like to touch upon 2 issues, a forthcoming meeting of the Responsible Play Partnership and a recently conducted meeting of the Franchise Oversight Board that was conducted for informational purposes. First, the Responsible Play Partnership will be conducting an event at Del Lago Casino and Resort this Wednesday. To refresh your recollection, when the commission was founded, senior staff were surprised to find the state's gaming regulatory structure had not established any formal relationship between either of the 2 major organizations involved in problem gambling, the New York Council on Problem Gambling and the Office of Addiction Supports and Services, or OASIS. The lack of these relationships led to the creation of the Responsible Play Partnership, a tripartite organization formed in part to ensure that the New York Council has direct and continued access to Commission and OASIS leadership. Since its founding, members of the RPP have met quarterly to discuss policy issues and development, work on appropriate messaging, and, for the Commission, obtain input on responsible gaming practices. Wednesday's event will see staff participation from the Commission, Del Lago Management, the New York Council on Problem Gambling, OASIS, Seneca County, and the Finger Lakes Problem Gambling Research Center. They're seeking to raise awareness about the various efforts by operators, regulators, and the treatment community to educate and assist New Yorkers about problem gambling. I also expect a discussion of several recent enhancements designed to promote a responsible gaming environment across all regulated gaming operations, specifically the voluntary self-exclusion program, which allows an individual to bar themselves from participating in any state licensed gambling. As a reminder, those seeking help can call New York State's free and confidential Hope line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. The other item I wanted to talk about, since we last gathered, the Franchise Oversight Board conducted its first informational meeting regarding the Belmont redevelopment project progress. The most interesting revelation was NYRA's desire to host the 2026 Belmont Stakes at Belmont Park, albeit in a modified capacity, and that racing is scheduled to return to the new Belmont Park in September of 2026. The $455 million redevelopment of Belmont Park remains on schedule, with various horses and pedestrian tunnels having been completed. The board was advised that some 16 miles of piping for 2 future turf courses was well underway, thus enabling a growing medium to be laid next month, permitting sod installation. They also indicated that the 1-mile synthetic track will be open for training during the second quarter of next year. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Any questions for our executive director? No. New York State Mutual Wagering and Breeding Law 10419 authorizes the Commission to promulgate rules and regulations that it deems necessary to carry out its responsibilities. To that regard, the Commission will, from time to time, promulgate rules and regulations and amendments pursuant to the State Administrative Procedure Act. Today, I have one rule for the proposed consideration. Mr. Williams.
For Commissioner consideration are amendments to mobile sports wagering rules to facilitate data collection on demographics and usage. New York Racing Parimutuel Wagering and Breeding Law, Section 1367A6, requires the Commission, in conjunction with the New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports, to submit annually a report to the Governor and the Legislature on the impact of mobile sports wagering on problem gamblers in New York, including, to the extent practicable, an analysis of demographics which are disproportionately impacted by problem gambling. In the first couple of years of compliance, staff have been hampered by a lack of uniformity in the scope and manner in which licensees have reported data. Thus, we believe requiring uniform reporting across all mobile sports wagering platforms would assist the Commission in receiving useful information for the statutorily required report. Staff recommends that the Commission propose this rulemaking.
Commissioners, any questions on the proposal of amendments regarding mobile sports wagering data collection? Hearing none. May I have a motion to propose this rule?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Is there a discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. Moving on to new and old business. I'd like to note for the record the following. Those of you who have been following have noted that our director of Division of Gaming, Tom Annapolis, has decided that he is about to retire. And I can tell you, since being on this commission, I have followed Tom for a long time, and he has done such a remarkable job. He has a long history of public service, having started out with the city of Schenectady in 1984, ultimately rising to deputy mayor. Following that work in the city, Tom worked for several years in the New York State Department of Labor before moving to the New York State United Teachers, the federation of more than 1,200 local teachers unions. Tom started as a labor relations specialist and rose through the ranks, retiring executive director and chief of operations there. Shortly thereafter, Tom brought his deep organization and administrative expertise to the commission. This experience has been instrumental in the development and implementation of both sports wagering and mobile sports wagering. His successor will be challenged to match his achievements. And I think this is one of the more remarkable stories of this commission, and in fact of all of people serving the state of New York, from us going from having no responsibility to having total responsibility for an incredibly complex operation. Tom and his staff have done just an incredible job of managing sports wagering for the good of the people of New York and the state. Tom, you are, we wish you luck at your retirement, but I cannot pretend that I, for one, and this whole commission is going to miss you tremendously in the great work that you've done.
Thank you.
Is that all you have to say for yourself, Tom, after all these years?
Well, I would just like to point out that I think that we at the gaming division tried to, consider the needs of the state of New York, of course, the needs of the operators, and probably most important, the need of the patrons. And we balance those to the extent of fairness to all. And I think that our results in mobile sports wagering, as well as commercial and casino gaming, video lottery, I think that represents that we established a three-legged stool approach, if you will, to recognize the needs of the state, to recognize the needs of the operators, and to recognize the needs of the patrons. And I'm proud of that balance. And whether it be the Division of Gaming, but more importantly, the Commission as a whole, I don't believe that our success would be anywhere near where it is without the human capital it takes to go forward with the initiatives, to regulate responsibly, to establish good partnerships with all our operators across the Commission, as well as the different entities within the Commission that don't regulate but provide tremendous support services. And then again, I would just want to recognize the human capital that it takes to bring our initiative forward and to represent the state of New York. And I thank you for the opportunity, Rob for the opportunity, and the other commissioners for the quality working relationship that I've had in my tenure.
Thank you, Tom. And once again, you will be sorely missed by this commission, but we wish you well in your retirement.
Thank you.
I also want to acknowledge the impending retirement of the Commissioner's Director of Human Resources Management, Lisa Fitzmaurice. Lisa's retirement after 31 years of service is effective November 13th, 2024. Like Tom, Lisa has experienced a long career, starting with the New York State Assembly, before succeeding to positions of greater authority and responsibility at the Department of Civil Service and the Division of the Budget before landing at the Division of Lottery in 2004. Ms. Suarez has both excelled in her commission position as well as serving many leadership positions to the credit of this commission in human resources, including as a longtime member of the New York State Personnel Council and as a co-founder of the Albany chapter of the International Personnel Management Association. As a career capstone, Ms. Fitzmaurice was detailed to the New York State Office of General Services Business Service Center as project director, helping implement the first statewide time and attendance system, which is better known as LATS New York. While Ms. Forrest was of substantial assistance during the merger of the lottery and the New York State Racing and Wagering Board, perhaps her most important role was helping this agency manage the coronavirus pandemic. This is no insubstantial task, as the Commission has well over 30 offices, where we often operate in public space. Ensuring continuity of operations while allaying the legitimate concerns of many employees and keeping as healthy as possible was challenging. Lisa's taking a vacation day today, so I can't have her stand for recognition, but we all wish her best in a well-earned retirement, and I can well say that she too will be missed for her extraordinary services to this commission and the people of the state of New York. Finally, it is great sadness we mark the passing this month of longtime horse racing investigator Mike McDermott. Mike came to the commission nearly 20 years ago, following his retirement from the Ontario County Sheriff's Department. He dutifully served as a thoroughbred racing investigator, primarily at Finger Lakes, and worked each summer in Saratoga. Mike's greatest skill was his affability, which also enabled him to excel at his job. Mike knew everyone, and everyone knew Mike. Mike, who was survived by his wife Arlene, his sons Brett and Billy, and his grandchildren Marley and Luca, will be greatly missed by his co-workers at this commission and the commission itself. That concludes today's published agenda. Do the commissioners have any items they want to present for consideration? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
You had referenced at one point.
I'm sorry, John, thank you. I did want to announce that the commission will stand adjourned in this meeting, but we have determined that on this Friday at 10 a.m., there will be another meeting of the commission to discuss personnel matters, which will be an executive session until such time as we come out of executive session, if there are any actions that need to be taken at that time. Thank you, John. All right. Motion to adjourn? Commissioners, all in favor?